Hey, welcome back to the Black Gentlemen's Club, where we have candid conversations about challenges that black men face and how we overcome them. This club is a place for all of us men to share thoughts, emotions, failures, and success. Hey, remember to subscribe, follow, and share this podcast on all
Get it right.
platforms
Describe.
with subscribe with someone close to you or anybody. Just share it, man. Like we got to grow this. All right, so remember that. All right, this episode today is hosted by Coach Jay, Corderro, and yours truly, Matt. That's me. Remember that. All right, for us to become men, we are striving to. we are. I can't fucking finish y'all nigga laugh. Anyway, for us to become men, we are striving to be. We must. I can't even talk now, man. Y'all fuck me up, but I'm done.
Hey, look. We must acknowledge and address the obstacles, bro, that we are
Shit,
preventing ourselves from achieving this desired state that we trying to
you got.
get at. You know what I'm saying?
I
Man, this
feel
man
like
got
we
me
should make
laughing,
this
bro.
episode lighter
Man,
hearted.
hey, hey, y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Oh
No,
shit,
they got a little bit
I'm
of
in
it.
here crying. Oh, I'm crying.
Oh Lord.
I'm sorry. Oh my god. So
Why?
I'm crying. So look, look, today's episode is habits of the heart. However, we're gonna go back real quick and do a quick recap while we have a chance before we get too deep in this conversation. All right. So
High as hell.
recapping last episode. So we asked you all to read Habits of the Household, right, by James Early. Hopefully you read it and some of you implemented some of the ideas, that was in your own household. I'm not gonna ask anybody exactly what you implemented, but if you want to, leave a comment, send us a message, DM, whatever, post it exactly what you did to implement to your household. Now, sorry. Whew. But getting to this conversation, I'm talking about habits of the heart. This man habit is making me laugh though.
Here we go.
but
Here we go.
but
I know it. Hey, it's
what
coming.
really brought this what really brought this up though, the episode up is because of something that I was reading. So I was reading the Bible one day. I
Oh
think it was
man.
like in January or something like that.
He
But
said, "Oh man,
yeah, he said, "Oh man, he know what's about to happen though."
jeez."
But in January,
Bring.
so when I was reading the Bible, I came across the what was it? I think Matthew chapter 6. It talks
Mhm.
about the habits of the pretty much. It talks about the habits of the heart as far as like what you have in your heart. So are you as a man, pretty much almost. Um, that's what made this episode come up because I thought about it for like a couple of months, and it kind of like made me think, reevaluate myself, my
Mhm.
attitudes, my actions, and things like that. So I wanted to bring this up to the podcast so we have an actual discussion about it because I think us as men, sometimes we don't think about these little nuances, things like that, like it's like we're talking about habits of the heart or the treasures of our heart. So this one statement I read, I read a statement. This statement was in this book called "Becoming a Millionaire God's Way" by Dr. C. Thomas Anderson that I was reading. Um,
Mhm.
and his statement says, attitude has its roots in words and its fruit in actions. Now, do y'all think that statement is true? And if so, what about it makes it rings true to you?
So you said attitude has its roots in words and fruits in action. I
Hmm.
agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that.
What makes you agree with it?
Cause I guess for one, cause you can manifest something by speaking about it. You can bring it to life, but it really only gets brought to life
Hmm.
by your work in God's hand. So like I feel like that's a perfect example of just of laying it out there that you still have to put something in it to really to get the fruits of your labors. That makes sense.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. What you think, Coach J?
I don't know, man. I think for me, I guess it just goes back to, I guess like actions speak louder than words.
Mm,
So it's all about you know putting things into motion. Like what we're doing now and other individual projects that we're doing. We can talk about it all day long, but the action is what matters the most.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so what I got from it, and the reason why have y'all to share y'all's first because me reading the book and still and then reevaluating, like reading that and then going back and reading the Bible and then reading that and then going back and reading the Bible. So when he talked
mm-hmm,
about part attitude has its root in words. Um, that part it comes from your heart. That's the part that comes from your heart, right? is the
Mm-hmm.
words and the actions. Both of them come from your heart. Just that they bear two different things. The words come from your emotions, your attitudes, or the way you perceive certain things, or the way you, how can I say it, compartmentalize
Mm-hmm.
your ideas before you display these things, right? So the perfect example
Yeah.
I kind of give you is he talked about this Chinese man. He said he went to the Chinese man tattoo shop. It was an analogy that he heard, and he just regurgitated, pretty much repeated the same thing in his book. Said it was this guy in a Chinese tattoo shop that was getting a tattoo, and on his tattoo it said "Born to Lose." And so the man was like, "Hey," he went to the Chinese man after the guy left out the shop and said, "Why did he get Born to Lose on tattooed on him?" He was like, "Tattoo on heart first before tattoo on self."
Mm.
And I was like, and he said that, it was like, damn. So in order for you to actually put this stuff into action, you had to really believe it,
Mm-hmm.
which means you had to convince yourself first before you actually put it in action. So your attitude can also, determine exactly how far you go, or like pretty much like your actions will go as far as your attitude takes it. If you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean.
Okay.
No,
I
I
mean,
believe
did
that.
you understand that analogy that he was making?
I mean, I think I do. I
I'm,
think it's pretty clear. But go ahead.
with you breaking it down that way, yeah, I definitely got it now. So yeah,
I mean, like, how do y'all feel about as far as like habits? Like, when you hear the word habits, what comes to your mind when you hear that word?
things you do every day.
But like, but
Repetition.
because you being a coach, right? Because you said repetition. He said things you do every day. Because you said you being a coach and you coaching these guys, you want them to make certain things or certain movements habitual on the field, right? So they can work,
Mm-hmm.
they
Right.
can do it faster without thinking. Correct?
Yeah.
Most
Why why
definitely.
why, why is that important though?
Because what they do in practice and what we do in all seasons is going to translate to the field. So when we
Mm-hmm.
make good habits carry over, so we can make less mistakes and we'll be better prepared for the game.
But how do you teach them those good habits? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you teach them those good habits?
I mean, it's daily. It's doing the same thing over and over again. So, for example, my son does not like the simple fact that we'll go to the gym when it's basketball season and we'll sit
Hmm.
in the corner and shoot 75 jumpers from the corner. He
Mm.
doesn't understand it and he doesn't really like it. But for me, and everything is game speed. Like we're not going in there just to throw up a shot, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you a pass. You come in to score up to the basket, and you shooting, right? And so we
Mm-hmm.
can develop the habit of getting our feet straight, getting our elbow pointed to the rim, follow through, right? Those good habits is gonna carry on to the game. That's why we do everything game like situation because in the game we can't go slow motion, can't just go through it. We got to go through it full speed. So when you develop good habits, uh, it just carries over. It just carries. If we're talking about sports analogy,
Yeah.
it'll
Mm-hmm.
just carry over to what you're doing in the game. But in life, it's the same way. If you have good habits, right? Say for example, you got good spending habits, right? You
Hmm.
got an emergency fund, right? You're learning how to use your credit to leverage whatever it is that you're doing because of the good habits that you start with at first. And the good habits that you start with at first is saving money, and
Mm-hmm.
then you learn how to leverage your credit to move forward. So it's just things that you do again on an everyday basis that allow you to have good habits.
What you got, Matt? It's like you
Yo, it's
something you had
hard to
something to
go out.
say.
It's hard to go after that. It's hard to go after that. I got to give you that. But I'm gonna take it a step further because I think what you're saying, Cordero, is that it has to be in the heart first, right? And through habits that you're teaching these kids every day, that you're instructing them to do, that you're following by as well, which takes discipline for one, um, will make it easier for them to gain better habits on top of the habits that you're ingraining into them. But what you want to build is a foundation, which that built from them believing that they can play better, they can be a bet. a better ball handler, a better shooter from shooting 300 shots a day or whatever the case may be. Like they have to start believing it first, and I feel like that's the ground zero. That's the foundation that help these that is formed by these habits that you guys are describing right now.
Yeah, I think so. Like one other quotes that I think we talked about was that your behavior is directly connected to what you believe in your heart, right? Kind of like what you said. So
Mm-hmm.
I look at it like for me. So this is what I'm going through personally right now. So for me, I'm in that point where I'm trying to be more of a better communicator with my wife. Um, Trying to not speak harshly, to my kids whenever, like, don't let my frustrations supersede my logic.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much trying to, do that because I know for me, you know, certain things that come out of my mouth could be because, especially when you're in the military too, you know how that goes. You cuss like a sailor sometimes, bro.
Yeah,
But
we do.
trying to tell some of that back, trying to be more loving. Because for me, I'm not very affectionate. I'm not a very affectionate person. Where I'm gonna grab you and hug you. I'm not that type of person. However, just
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not that type of person doesn't mean that my wife doesn't deserve that. Doesn't mean my kids don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
Absolutely.
I'm trying to really to be intentional and develop that piece. And so that's one part about as far as like the habits I'm trying to do. So by me being intentional in that and changing my thought process on it, so
Mm-hmm.
that way I can change my attitude towards it, which would affect in turn affect my behavior and the
Mm-hmm.
outcome. Just trying to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. I mean, I found a quote from Shaq, and it says, "Excellence is not a singular act, but a habit. You
Mm-hmm.
are you are what you repeatedly do."
Yeah,
So, like you
facts.
said, you repeatedly work on, talking to your wife, making that communication easy and being affectionate with your kids. The more you do it, the easier it's gonna come.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
it's
so yeah,
tough.
man.
Definitely tough. It's
Oh,
it's not it's not an easy task. It's tough, but
yeah, but it
trying
can get done.
no, it definitely can get done. I think the reason why, like I said, it stuck out to me because in that same chapter, Matthew 6, it talks about the Lord's Prayer in there, but then it goes down to discuss exactly what the meaning behind how why Jesus pretty much gave them that model to pray, and he discussed in
Mm-hmm.
there. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. Matter of fact, you have it, you have it pulled up by chance?
What you got? What you
Um,
want?
Matthew 6. Let me see if I can find it
Yeah, I
real
got
quick.
it pulled up. What you need?
I got it highlighted. So it says, he said, "Lay up not your treasures." He said, "Lay up." He said, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart will be also." So when
Mm-hmm.
he said that piece, that's what made me kind of like think about it, because then behind that it says the light of the body is the eye, and if therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So pretty much what you pretty much take in is what you're gonna put back out. That's kind of like
Okay.
when I look at some of these artists out here, so-called gang banging and doing all this stupid stuff. You're not
Mm-hmm.
like your fruit of your action is gonna result in either you being dead or in jail.
Yeah. Facts.
There's no
Talking about
other
that
way
every day.
around it, because you keep spewing the same evil and the same stuff that you and you keep taking it in, but you also spewing it back out. So you're gonna
Mm.
get out what you're putting back out. You see what I'm saying? So like it's
Yeah.
it's it's a
Absolutely.
it's a habit. If you don't change the way that you move or the way that you walk or the way that you talk, even your insides, things that people
Or
don't
the
see,
way that
people
you
don't know how
think.
you really feel. Yeah, the way you think, because people don't know how you really feel, how you really think, but they can see it through
Mm-hmm.
your action, which shows your character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
True.
And so when
Absolutely.
I seen that, I was like, is my character? I had to check my character. I was like, am I being the best husband I can be? Am I being the
Mm-hmm.
best father I can be? So I had to check myself, bro. Like just being real, I had to check myself.
I mean, I think we all
You know,
supposed to do that, man, because ain't nobody perfect, bro. There's always room for mistakes and errors, and we some of the time we don't even see the bad habits that we have, and some of those are attached to your heart too. Some of those are ingrained in you through past experiences and situations that you had been through that rubbed you the wrong way. So that's some of the stuff you really got to think of, bro. Like
Oh
habits
yeah.
are good and bad. They both are formed, and there's
Mm-hmm.
always a good and bad side. There's always a positive, negative. It's always like that. That's just the balance of it. So if you know that you have good habits, know that you have bad habits, and work on yourself. Always work on yourself.
Correct. See,
Now,
for me, I'm looking at it from like let's play. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
go
I
ahead.
don't know what's like. I don't know how to build good habits. Can you help me build good habits? Is it some values, some beliefs? What is it that I can do to kind of help me build good habits? 'Cause I guarantee somebody that's probably listening to this that think that what they're doing is the right way, but it probably is not the right way.
I mean, it depends on what
You know
you
what I'm
leaning
saying?
towards. Like, what's your goals? What's in your heart? What do you feel like? I'm gonna be honest with me.
Mhm.
I think I have a good heart where I just want to give and provide for others and help everybody be great, right? So that's what's in my heart.
Mhm.
Now, if somebody
Yeah.
was to come in my life and be like, "Hey, these are the habits you need to take to help others, to build wealth, to to be a good person," I would say, I mean, it's a million things you could say, but what am
True,
I
but
actually
then
gonna
again,
do?
that's when I come back and say, well, let's say a drug dealer want to provide for their family. They want to give to other
Hmm.
people, but is that route a good route to
I,
go? Even though your heart is you want to provide for other people, you want to do for other people. See what I'm saying?
I get it.
so my thing is, you just got to get to the root, man. You got to
Hmm.
uncover the root and get to, what is preventing you from getting you to, I guess you could say, point A, right?
Hmm.
Once we can get to the root of a thing, right,
Hmm.
and uncover that and say acknowledge our faults, acknowledge this, that, and the third. Now we got to write a plan to go forward,
Hmm.
and I think that's the first thing: knowing exactly what the root issues are in
Hmm.
order to go forward, and then after that, you got to eliminate those triggers outside of you. So how do you
Hmm.
eliminate? That might be eliminating a relationship with some family and friends, right?
Hmm.
That might be eliminating a relationship that you know that you shouldn't be in,
True.
right? And so once you eliminate those external things, right? Now you got to go back to the inward. So we already start with the unrooted, which is the inward. And then
Hmm.
we eliminate the external. Now let's go back to the internal again. And now we got to do those affirmations every day, letting yourself know that you are strong enough to continue to go forward. And now you start listing one by one what it is that you have to work on to make it a routine. And once you make it a routine, then there you go. But again, it has to start from the root. Then you have to eliminate those external triggers in order for an individual to have good habits and to achieve the things that they want to achieve.
That's
Yeah,
solid.
I think a lot of people have issues though with finding their root. You know, because it's easy to say, well, I didn't know, or it's always been done like this, or this is
Hmm.
this is the norm, or any other excuse you can do. Because I have like, for example, I have a homie, right, that
Hmm.
drinks a lot.
Hmm.
Does he feel as though it's an issue? No, he don't feel as though it's an issue. However, from the outside looking in, it is an issue. When
Okay.
I can go on your Instagram, your Facebook, or whatever else that you're doing, and I can see that that's what you, between that and nasty shit and whatever else you posting all the time. That shows me what's in your heart. That's showing me exactly what you enjoy the most is by what you putting out there, right? So by you doing that, that's an
I don't know.
issue, and that's not, and that's that's not helping you. Because, for example, like, I mean, like, when we was growing up in school, we everybody knew about this one chicken school that was always popping off, right?
Hmm.
What was her rooted issue? Most likely attention.
Yeah.
Is lack of attention, and the only way she can get attention was through what? Was through giving herself to other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was giving herself to other people. So that, like, to her, that didn't seem like it was a negative thing, because she got what she wanted, right? She received
Hmm.
what she wanted in turn for doing something that we looked at like, yo, why you doing that, B?
Hmm.
But at the same time, we can't fault that individual
No, you can't.
because you
Hmm.
don't know you don't know lifestyle is.
Correct.
It goes back to something I say all the time. You can't discipline trauma. And
Facts.
so, with that being a trauma, that person has to one seek help, right? Because you can't do it on your own. Like I myself, I realized this week, just this week that I need to go get a therapist, bro. Like you need to get over this hump about your dad passing away, and then there's some other issues that childhood issues, some things that happen to you that a lot of people don't know. That hey man, you need to get over that. You got to talk that thing through. So I'm
Yeah.
realizing the root of some of my issues, and so now I can't do it on my own. I can't,
Mm-hmm.
talk to my homeboys all the time and try to get an answer from them. Now I got to seek someone that can professionally help me
Yeah.
get the answers that I need. So that's what an individual is going to have to do:
Yeah.
acknowledge what it is, and then now go seek help.
But you know what? What comes with that, and I think this is one of the hardest factors to deal with in life, is accepting the truth. And the truth about you may not be shit you even think, but
No,
your
it's true.
actions have shown a lot of that. Now,
Yeah.
I don't
We
necessarily
yeah,
agree
exactly
with
what I'm
the
talking about.
post. I get it, but like I said, I don't agree with the post and like because people give you a persona of what they want you to see, right?
True.
Typically, they're gonna give you a persona. Either it's on Instagram, IG, pictures from whatever. They see it all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
But
but if I talk
accepting
to
the
you too
truth
and you
about her,
also post it.
I mean, look, everybody has a vice. Everybody has a
Yeah,
vice,
everybody
and
does.
and and believe it or not, and this is just how I feel. Most vices are definitely negative. They're seen in a negative light. Um, but I feel like you have to look at the overall picture for most people because there's prescription medications, there are all kind of stuff. Everybody has something that keeps them in line because life is hard or whatever it may be. It may be a sport, music,
Yeah.
but you have to look at your situation and be like, hey, am I taking care of business? Am I stable? Am I happy? Am I content with life? If it's not harming your life, if it's really not harming your life nor the people around you, I mean, it's that's between you and God at that point because you're not wishing any damage on anybody. You're not causing any damage, but it is something that is seen as a negative thing. That's up to judgment, people's opinion, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Yeah.
look at it as if it's is it really disrupting anybody's life, not just your
Well,
own.
it might not be starting off, and that's what typically
Mm.
happens. That's what happens once you build these habits, because once, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it's not hurting nobody yet.
Mm-hmm. It may
That's the
not
key
be.
word is yet.
Yeah.
It might not hurt nobody right now, but I guarantee you, in the long run, it will over time, because then you spiral out of control because you make it a habit to the point to where you can't live
Mm-hmm.
without it. For example, like my mom, she smokes cigarettes like it's going out of style.
Mm-hmm. I
Like,
got
you don't, like, for what? For what? Like, why are you smoking that much
you.
and
It's
getting these?
stupid.
Smoking two. I mean, like really, like
Yeah.
two packs sometimes a week, 2 to 3 packs a week,
Mm-hmm.
bruh. Cigarettes ain't cheap. It's not
No, they're
cheap.
not.
And I mean, is it hurting? Is it
Mm-hmm.
hurting me? It hurts me emotionally because I know you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah,
Then when the
it
kids
does.
go around, I don't want them to smell this. I don't want them smelling
Mm-hmm.
like smoke.
No,
None
that's
of that stuff. And
mm-hmm.
granted, I smoke cigars and I drink
Mm-hmm.
alcohol here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't saying
Yeah.
I'm better than anybody. But the thing is, like, sometimes things can go to the point to where it can hurt people, even though it might
Mm-hmm.
not start off as hurting people initially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like crack or cocaine or whatever people want to do.
Yes, I
People be
stay
snorting
just stay
lines
away
in
from the
college
shit. Just
all the
stay
time.
away from it.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's some people. But I'm saying, but that's some people's vices where they snorting cocaine. That's a part of
Mm-hmm.
the habit
True.
that's now they building inside their heart to where now they can't do without. To now where they'll
No,
go off and pine your
absolutely.
shit. That's affecting
Mm-hmm.
you because to
That
support their
shit went left
habit.
quick. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying, but to
Real
support, I'm saying,
fast.
but to
Real
Yeah.
support
fast.
their habit in order to do. But I'm playing devil's advocate because I want to be able to help anybody understand that, hey, the first step, like Coach Jay said, is self awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Self awareness, and be able to have that, like you said, that real talk with yourself. Be like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I talk to myself. I ain't gonna front. People probably think I'm crazy.
I
I
talk
talk to
myself
myself
all the time.
sometimes, but
Shit, I'll talk myself
I
shit
like
do
too.
it all
sometimes you gotta tell yourself, like, bro, you fucking up, b.
the time.
Like, yo, you fucking up, b. Like,
You
kid you
have
not.
to.
Like me, I had to tell myself I'm fucking up because I had to do my budget. I wasn't making my budget a habitual thing. You know, so now it's a habitual thing that I'm trying to be intentional about it, because I've noticed that, hey, if I do not do this, I cannot really allocate the money where I need to do, allocate it where I need to allocate it for. And I'm just going off the top of my head versus having a dedicated purpose for the money or for whatever things are going to. But like you said before, you got to have that self-awareness, jot the things down, find the root of the issue. Like my issue, the reason why I had the issue I have with my wife is because I didn't experience that type of affection. I didn't experience that type of infection. I had to grow up so fast that I couldn't experience that type of infection. So do you think I'm gonna be able to do that for my kids? No. So I'm trying to really unwire some shit, relearn some things, and be able to be intentional about my actions and and my attitude, because mainly my attitude, because what comes out my mouth can hurt people.
Oh, that's powerful. But you know what? That's understandable,
being
bro.
honest.
But that again that's like you said, it's the first step, and like I said, it's the hardest step because it's accepting the true things that you see as untrue. If you can accept those true factors about yourself as untrue, then you can work towards making that change. And
Yeah.
you have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to learn something new that you thought you knew that you didn't know.
Definitely, I do that all
Like
the
for
time,
real.
bro.
What they told us and you was a drill sergeant, but what they told us in basic training was like, let me see. They asked some of us, they were like, if you ever shot a gun before or whatever, then you're gonna be harder to teach how to shoot a gun the proper way, right? Or to shoot a weapon the proper way. But if you have not
It's
never
easy.
touched it, your
It's easy
mind's
for me to
open.
teach you.
It's
Yep, it's
easy. I mean,
moldable.
you're gonna be probably a sharpshooter in no time, expert. But it takes time, and it takes, you to be willing to open your mind to change, to make those type of transitions, because that's a major transition. So I
And
don't
then,
know.
and I mean, and what you like you said, change is again we're talking about what are you feeding yourself. And I think a lot of this stuff when we talk about habits and things, right? Corderro sends out hella
I
videos and
know.
stuff,
Links,
right?
books,
Link,
shit.
right?
I don't
But
apologize for it
see,
either.
And you
so
shouldn't.
but you shouldn't. But see, those things are helping us develop good habits if we get out of our busy schedules to read those things and learn those things. Those are good habits to have. And so, again, it's just what are you feeding yourself to make better habits? I tell my son all the time, music has an effect on all of us. I know me. If you play some crunk music, I'm ready to punch you in the face, bro. I mean,
You knock if
it's
you
just
buck.
real.
Hey,
That's just real. And so,
he's on
even
my bad.
that's right. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And let me get my Pastor Troy going,
Hey,
and
Oh
oh
vice
yeah.
God, let's
versa.
go.
That
Oh,
Archie
Vice versa. Yes,
oh,
reread.
let's
yes,
get it.
sir.
Yeah.
Shit, say
Yes, sir.
less.
So don't get me started. But see, it's just one of those things that I tell him is like, even now, I'm starting to pull away from the rap music
Mm-hmm.
just because what I'm feeding myself, right? So if I'm feeding myself all the stuff that I'm listening to, right, the habits that I want to create going forward is not going to help because of what I'm pouring into myself. So yeah, they get in the car now. They're like, man, Dad, we really have to listen to Maverick and all and Kurt. Yes, we
Hey,
do.
that album
Yeah.
fire, bro.
I'm because I'm trying to develop a habit of one. If I cancel out the negative noise, which is the music, shooting, bang bang, sex, drugs, drinking, if I can cancel that noise out and bring in more positive to create a positive atmosphere within my mind,
It's that
and
balance.
then that's gonna transfer throughout my home. And we talked about homes and men being,
Mm-hmm.
the whatever example, whatever we talked
Setting the
about.
tone.
But if I could set the tone, there we go. If I could set the tone by changing what I listen to, reading more books and reading the Bible. If I could set the tone, don't get me wrong, the devil is going to be after me. He comes to steal, kill,
No
and
matter what.
destroy. But then I'll be a whole lot. It's right, but I'll come out a lot stronger because of the habits that I'm building now. So boom, now I could be like Corey said. I don't have to cuss at my kids and say, sit your ass down.
Mm-hmm.
I can, hey man, have a seat.
Yeah, I just said
Try
that.
to
Mm-hmm.
come out come come out a different way
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
my kids. So sometimes we just gotta change, my wife says it all the time. She say, Julian, your taste buds change ever so often.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it's the same thing with everything else in life. Things change, so you gotta make change.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to make some good habits to go forward. But anyways, what's up, bro?
Yeah, so that brings me to another good point because it's another quote that was in there talked about. It said, "Attitude is the library of your past, the speaker of your present, and the prophet of your future."
Oh, I like that.
So what he was talking
I'm
about
gonna
with that
steal that.
was the fact that you can only go as high as your attitude, right?
Mm.
Your attitude determines your altitude, is why he said that. How is the library of your
Mm-hmm.
past? Because, like you said before, the trauma that you might have experienced, the things that you went through, your attitude sometimes is shaped from that, right? And then it's also has the speaker of
Mm-hmm.
your present because it's still in your heart. So what you're saying out your heart now is that, and then the prophet of your future is because it only takes you to the next level. So if your attitude is bad, you ain't going but so high. You can
Mm-hmm.
only go but to the
Right.
level of your attitude. So if your attitude is bad, you're gonna wind up having bad habits and so forth to the point to where you're not gonna be successful in life. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole bunch that's tied to that one statement. He
Mm-hmm.
asks how can we change our attitudes and our behaviors, which we kind of addressed that pretty much how we can do that. And I think us doing it at our level as men, trying to help our families out with it, because now we acknowledge ourselves as what we need to change. But now we got to try
Mm-hmm.
to teach those habits to our kids. Say, hey, look, because I had a conversation with my daughter and my son just a few minutes ago before we got on. I was like, you know, your attitude. I said, I talked to you multiple times about your attitude. You have to fix that. She's like, well, I don't know how to fix my
Mm-hmm.
attitude. I said, would you talk to me the same way you would talk to them? She said, no. I
Mm-hmm.
said, and that tells you everything right there. If you won't talk to your own father like that, why are you talking to your aunt like that?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a
you know right
perception
from
thing
wrong.
too. Mm-hmm.
So you know right from wrong. You know what is the standard. You know that your tone means everything. I told her, I said
Yeah.
you can say certain things, but your tone to an adult can set us off. I said I don't care if you said
Facts.
no, yes, whatever. But if you said it like no,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna set us. You gonna
Yeah.
light a fuse, and somebody's gonna be on your ass. so
On God.
so
On
I
God.
said I
That's
said
just
so
how it
I said
rolls.
so you I said so in order for you to understand that, you need to be able to think about it. I'm not the adult. Let me just go over there and sit down. It's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
It might not be what you want, but that's because as a child they gotta, because they're in the selfish mentality, right? And that's some
Mm-hmm.
adults are still in selfish mentality. When you're in that selfish
Mm-hmm.
mentality, you're only worrying about self. You're not thinking about how what you do or whatever you say out your mouth affects other people.
They're
You know what I'm saying?
not.
So,
Right.
so you're so you're not so you're not
Absolutely.
thinking about nobody else. You're just thinking about self. So when my sister-in-law told her, "Hey, you need to go over there and sit down because she did something to her brother," she said no. And so my sister-in-law texted me, was like, "Hey, she acting up." And I came straight
Mm-hmm.
downstairs like, "So what is it?" She crying. I'm like, "No, ain't no point in you crying now because you know you did something wrong. You had a chance to change that, but you didn't do that. So now let's talk
Yeah.
about this." You
Oh.
see, I'm
I
trying to have more conversations instead of actually,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to pop my kids like that, man. I did enough of that already. I'm trying to have
Mm-hmm.
conversations with them because I remember getting my ass beat always to 17.
Yeah, shit. Me too. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's about 15,
I
16,
ain't,
somewhere in there.
I ain't even front. I remember still getting my ass whooped all the way to 17. But I'm trying to like have those conversations because the
Mm-hmm.
things that we lack and the habits I'm trying to build is what making me have these conversations versus just flipping out, and doing these things. That's why I'm trying to do, like, I call it, like, or they call it intentional living.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to really live
Okay.
intentionally. Like everything I'm doing, I'm trying to do it for a purpose,
Doing
for a
with a
reason. Everything
purpose.
has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. So I'm trying to make sure that
I
what
get
I'm
that.
doing is purposeful. It's not sitting here wasting time. It's actually to fulfill a purpose. You know, what y'all had? Because you
So
want to say
this
something.
this is the so so this is the question I got, right? Because it goes back to what we grew up. If you know better, you're what?
Do
Do
better,
better.
but you don't know
Right.
what you
And
don't.
so, but see, Now I gotta play devil advocate with you now.
Oh shit.
If you, yeah, I got his
Yeah, let's
ass
go. Let's go.
Yeah, I know.
So if you know what you didn't have, right? And I get it. Like I know what you're about to say,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna say it
Go ahead. Do
anyways.
it.
All right. Then you would do better with your kids. Like I'm gonna give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
My mom will go straight to your tail. You know, right? I remember if our beds weren't made up, Staff Sergeant Judy came out. She beat our tail with the belt while we were making our beds up,
Mhm.
right? So for me, I don't want to put my kids through that, right? Just because of what I've dealt with, right?
Mhm.
Like how you supposed to make your bed up and get your ass whooped,
That
right?
shit difficult. Hey,
so
yeah, that's a
Boy,
task itself. That's a hard task to do
so
right there. Shit.
shit.
so again, just one of those things. Like for me, like I tell my kids I love them, right?
Yeah.
Just because growing up that wasn't said to me.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was said to me, it was like, oh wow, like it did something to me. Now I tell all my kids, all of them, whether they biologically mine or not, I tell them I love them because
Mhm.
I know how much of an impact that is, right?
On God.
So the thing, so the things that I didn't want, I don't do with my kids.
Mhm.
See, it's
So
funny you said that
so
too.
now, oh yeah, I'm getting your ass
No, it's
licked.
funny you
Yes,
said
I
that
am.
because I got some reason. I know exactly why. I know exactly why I haven't. I'll tell you why.
Let's go. I'm ready.
So what you're saying? Because he's saying if you know better, you do better, right? So it's funny
Mhm.
because I
Right,
remember
right.
telling. You remember I told Aunt Kathy, I said, hey, I said I'm never gonna do my kids the way y'all do. I'm never gonna. I used to say that all the time. But it's funny
Oh yeah.
because at their age they were like probably like my age when I was their age
Mhm.
when no when I was younger. So they're at the age I'm at now are probably like in their 40s when I was younger, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, remember too that they're learning how to parent still as same way I'm learning how to parent. Even though like because like my mom and all they experienced their relationship with my granddad and grandma a little bit different than how I did growing up because the grandkids always have a
Mhm.
different experience with the parents than
Yep.
the actual parent with their own parent. So
Hey, yeah,
Absolutely.
they done got rich
yeah.
all of a sudden.
Yeah. So like with me and my kids, right? So for me, I never really experienced the love like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I had love, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like really affectionate like that. So for me, so when I wound up going to the military is
Mhm.
very discipline oriented, right? And once you've been
Mhm.
overseas and seen certain things and seen how people treat you based off of how you carry yourself, and I've been in the real world and I've been in the military. So seeing how those two different things work, it's a lot when it comes down to how you carry yourself. So if you don't say yes, ma'am, no, sir, yes, sir, no, ma'am, or if you don't
Mhm.
hold yourself up to a certain level and have a standard, you easily getting passed up on. You easily getting blown by. There's no excuses
True.
being made in the military, right? So that's why it's
Mhm.
kind of hard for me to come home and turn it off because I'm always at that point to where it's like you need to be a standard, and if your standard ain't there, then something
Mhm.
is wrong. We need to fix that. And my wife
Yeah.
told my wife like you can't come home trying to be sergeant. I'm like I'm not trying to be. I try to leave my stuff at work. Try to leave
Mhm.
my stuff at work. Leave it out of the house because I don't want to be drill sergeant in the house. I don't want to be the NCO in the house. I don't want to do that. But
Mhm.
sometimes it gets to that point because if she's not disciplining them, I have to discipline them.
Yeah.
And the bad thing about it, I go back to the old ways of how I was disciplined because I didn't know how to do it. So even though you know what you don't want, it's hard to do
Mhm.
what you don't want to do because you don't know how to do it. Like
Mhm.
You don't know a different way of
I
doing
You
it.
didn't know
don't know
how to
what you
talk to
don't
my
know.
kids. I didn't know I
Mhm.
didn't know how to like how to really talk to my wife. I didn't know how to show a love show love like that because the way I show love is
Mhm.
different than the way they needed it. I show love
Mhm.
by what I'm providing you and make sure that we have a place to stay. I'll take a bullet for you. I don't
I
have
got
to
one for
hug
you.
you to love you. That's the way I feel. I don't have to hug you to love you. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
they don't. That's not what they need. And that's why I said I had to
Nope.
realize that and go deeper and say, look, enough is enough. I see it's hurting somebody. Let me try to see what I can do to fix whatever it is. Because mainly my kids, I want to
Absolutely.
make sure that they know that I love them. Which they know I do, but I want to show them versus me just telling them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So 2 things
So
off of
that's
that.
why I'm
And
saying the no to
honestly,
know.
bro, you
You can
brought up
go.
a whole bunch of things I just wanted to jump in on. But I'm gonna take these last 2 that you came up with. But so for me, and this is probably why me and you differ in the military, right?
Mhm.
I saw myself in a situation where I didn't know how to speak to anybody. I didn't know what was required of me in these roles. So I learned that I didn't know how to be anything other than the guy I saw in the mirror, right? So when I looked in the mirror and I realized I responded to somebody speaking to me with respect. I responded to somebody being firm and their word being what it is. That's how I am. And by me knowing that,
Mhm.
I figured, hey, maybe I should try this at work. Yo, made a hell of a difference for me. By me just be, I ain't have to yell, I ain't have to, be too excited. Drill sergeants require
Mhm.
some of that, but regular army wise, I just needed to talk to you. And if you didn't understand what I said by the end of that talk, then I mean, we got what we got out of it. But I gave you the gold. I didn't BS you. I kept it 100 and true with you. And by me being honest, by now putting this on paper, I'm actually holding you to a standard, to disciplinary standards that we all should be held to at some point in time. And it's really
Yeah.
just to be a man or a woman of your word, be truthful and be honest and do what you say you're gonna do. Because you don't have to get rah and dramatic with stuff. You just have to be straightforward. Um,
Mhm.
but then I realized for my kids at home, me being army dad wasn't doing shit but making them rebel and making them mad and making them feel like daddy's scary. I don't want them to feel that. I wanted them to know that
Mhm.
you can talk to this same big scary man that you see as a kid. Now, mind you, they see life different because it's small, growing. They see a big monster.
Mhm.
I had to soften my blow and let them know, hey, I respect you, but I need you to respect me. And I need you to respect my position in this house. And I'm going to respect you as a person that also lives in this house. We're going to have conversations. We're going to get to it. But when you're wrong, I'm going to let you know you're wrong. If I say something, and I'll even allow my kids to correct me if I say something wrong,
Oh yeah,
because
it's cool.
nobody's right 100% of the time. Now, I don't want you to disrespect me and embarrass me in front of anybody, but real talk, if I put it out there, shit, I'm going to get it back. So I train my kids to be who they are with respect to anybody and everybody that they're dealing with based on the man that raises
Mhm.
them and the woman that raises them. And that's just how I move
That's
with it.
awesome. That's awesome,
And I
man.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Boom.
love it. See, I'm trying to get to that level. I'm still working in that piece. I'm working
Man,
in
we
that
all
piece.
are, bro.
Yeah.
It's always a cycle. Is nothing's perfect and it's always gonna be like that. But the difference is you're trying to make the
And
change.
Oh yeah, definitely,
That's
yep,
it.
definitely trying
try
to
to
make.
make those habits, man.
Yep.
That's it,
It's
man.
it's hard, man. It's
Never gonna
hard.
be perfect, my boy.
Oh no, definitely
Never.
can't be. There's only one person that is. I can't be.
But I
So,
Yes.
I try
look.
try as much as I can, but like I said, because the whole thing, like, it kind of goes into generational curses, which is a little
Mhm.
separate. We'll talk about that at a different timepiece to go deeper into that. But it's because some of those habits do affect future generations. Like I said,
Yep.
I'll tell you how my homeboy's drinking. Like his family, both sides of the family drink like crazy. They drink when they get together,
Mhm.
and they don't drink just to
All the
get to
time.
like just to so they drink to get drunk.
Casually. Oh
So so
damn.
s- no so if your
Casually
daughter
they get drunk.
so if your daughter or your son is there and they watching you get drunk,
They
they
gonna
thinking
probably
that
do the
that's
same
okay.
thing too.
They're gonna do the same thing because they seeing it. You
But
know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Go ahead,
but
go
the
ahead, go
but
ahead, go
the
ahead, go
but.
ahead. Give me the butt. Give me the butt.
just like you guys said the same thing. I didn't like the way they raised me and the things that they did to us as kids. Cause you saw that as a kid, you went against that shit. So, so by
Mhm.
them seeing them get drunk every day and then seeing how they progress in life, that could go good or bad.
It could.
But more than likely, the kid's gonna get their own perception out of that. Now, 9 times out of 10, I agree with you because most people go with what they see. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a select few that go
They
against
are.
the grain and be like, hey, I want better than what I saw.
They are. They really
Oh
are,
yeah,
because
my,
the
my
ones who do are the ones who've already experienced it. Like when they leave out of town. Like if I didn't go to my cousin's spot in like Georgia, or when they was in Wilmington,
Mm-hmm.
like shit. I mean, I traveled probably a couple times like to DC, San Antonio, different things like that. But I wasn't traveling like my other cousins them like that. I wasn't.
Mm. I feel you.
You know. So if I
I
wasn't
feel
around
you.
that stuff or experienced those things, how would I know what is more out there for me? You know what I'm saying? So if you never been out your bubble, it's hard to say, okay, well, I'm gonna break this curse and build these habits to get out of the situation, so that way now I can change the whole landscape going forward. What you about to
Yeah,
say,
but
Coach
shit,
J?
you gotta
yeah.
look.
When we talk,
Go ahead.
oh, you go ahead.
Well, I mean, for what he just said, I mean, you gotta honestly, bro. It all changed with the root, right?
It does.
But it's also your perception of how you see life based off what you went through and what you seen.
Facts.
And you got to think about this now. Slaves, most slaves didn't know shit but the plantation. But everybody in their heart felt like some of this shit was wrong and there was more to this. It has to be more. It's always a question that at
Mm-hmm.
some point in your life, as a person, you're going to ask God, what is it out there? There's more for me. There has to be more. And you can't see shit beyond what you see right now.
And that's funny you
But
say
just
that
because you
because
ask that question, opens up.
yeah, it's fun. It's funny you said that because I talked to my wife about that. I told her, I said it's a point in life, and this is why I tell her, you get the breaking point and then you have the breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different. You
Yeah,
can
we
either
spoke
break
about this
through or you can
before.
have
Yep.
a breaking point. And the reason why I say that, because at that point in your life, or that crossroads, is where you figure out whether or not you want to go up or you want to regress and go back down.
Mm-hmm.
Either you
Mm-hmm.
can break through the
True.
cycle and say, okay, look, I know this is wrong. I need to change these habits. Like I said, I had to do self awareness. For me, it was like, look, I can't keep doing it my way. I tried it my way.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm gonna try it your way. Let me try it
Yeah.
your way.
And ultimately, that's what is going. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be asking God to give you the things that you have never had,
Mm-hmm.
because when you don't have the tools to fix whatever it is that it needs to be fixed,
Mm-hmm.
the only person that can give you the tools is the man upstairs.
Oh God.
And I feel like he definitely will give you a way out of what it is that you're dealing with. But it also is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Facts.
mindset.
It
So
is.
once we're able to change our mind on the things that we see, and that's why I tell kids all the time, what you see is not what you have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can instill that in kids early,
Fire.
right, and then turn around and let's continue to spread that,
Mm-hmm.
I think the outcomes of these families would be different. Because I think about what I do for a living, right?
Yep.
So what I do for a living, I help people find work, and so I
Okay.
work with the housing authorities and a little bit of everything. And so the lady in the housing authority told me that a lot of these project houses are generational.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It goes to grandma had it,
Mm-hmm.
now mama got it, now the
Mm.
daughter got it.
Mm.
It's the same house. So out of the three of them, nobody broke anything because that's all they know,
True.
right? So if they don't have the tools to move forward, how you expect for things to change?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it goes to the individual
Yeah.
praying and asking God to give them the tools or a way out.
It's
And God will definitely get a way out. But
yeah.
it's up to the individual.
It's
You
good you
gotta
said
have
that too. 'Cause when you
that
said that's what
first.
yeah. I tell soldiers all the time.
Go
I
ahead.
said your vision is not your perception. I tell them that all the
Mm.
time. I still tell them that because the same
Damn.
thing you said is like what you want to be is not what you see. Because vision and perception are two different things. Your perception is what you
Mm-hmm.
can visually see out your eyes and how you
Mm-hmm.
view things.
And how
But
you
your
see it.
vision
Yep. Yep.
is your vision is something that is not you can't see that out your eyes. That's something that's given to you in your
Mm.
heart. That's something that's
Yep.
only given
Mm.
to you in your heart from
Mm.
God, and God gives you that vision. And if you hold on to that vision and you find your purpose and you follow that vision, can't nobody stop you. But the problem is
Mm.
people start
The
putting on
motivation. You
start
stop
looking at their
yourself.
perception, and then they change their
Mm-hmm.
habits. They change
Mm-hmm.
their habits, and they're like, okay, look,
Mm-hmm.
I want this money, I want this car, I want this fame, I want this and that. They're looking at the material things. Material things will come if you
Mm-hmm.
just if you follow your vision. You'll get the material
They
Facts.
things.
will.
material things will come. Material things come and go all the time. Your vision won't, because your vision can change lives. That's a different ball game.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
That's why I tell
your
soldiers all
vision
the
can
time.
change
That's why I tell
lives.
soldiers all the time that your vision and your perception are two different things. They're
Bow, bow,
not the
bow.
same thing.
Your
They're never the
vision
same
can
thing.
change lives.
It can.
Yo,
Your
I'm gonna
vision
put
can
that on
literally
a
change
fucking
lives.
shirt, bro.
It's
Yeah, I like that shit.
it's a
Hey,
fact,
for
bro.
real,
Your
for real.
vision. No, seriously, I'm dead serious, bro.
like
Your
that.
vision can change lives.
No, you're right.
I haven't seen a vision yet
Vision
that
can
can't change
change
lives.
lives.
You tell me a vision that can't change
Mm.
lives.
Mm.
Because Stevie Wonder had a vision. He can't see, but he still got a vision.
On
He can't see.
God,
He can't.
on
He don't,
God,
he
and
don't
it
have.
came out. It
He
came
don't
out
have
through his
perception,
actions
but
too.
he has a correct. He has a vision, and you seen it directly through what he's done. He can play multiple instruments. He might not even be able to see
That's
the
crazy.
instrument,
I
but
can't
he
play
can
one.
play multiple instruments.
Well, I just tweeted that. Yes, sir.
I'm just saying. That's why I tell
You
my
on Twitter
soldiers all the
shit?
time, because that's why I tell my soldiers all the time,
Sir.
because for me, like, that's what I live by. Like, I'm not worrying about what I see. It's the end goal. It's the vision, the end state. What are we trying to get to? How are we getting there?
Right.
That's what we need to figure out. I'm not worrying about what's in front of us.
You know what?
So
But you know,
You're right. And I
go ahead.
go ahead, man.
No, go ahead. You got it.
You got it. Oh no, I'm about to jump off subject. So go ahead.
Okay, so I forgot it, so it don't even matter. Go ahead.
Nah,
Shit.
man. I just for the individual. That man said that. Just for the individual that is, you feel like you might not feel like you're making progress, but you are, and you're probably breaking generational curses, and you probably don't even know it, and that's why the attack is even harder on your life.
yeah,
Facts.
And so, if I can give you anything, if you listen to this, is to continue to press forward and continue to break those chains and make your life different and better, not just for yourself, but for if you have kids. And so I know sometimes it's hard. And you're like, man, why is this fight so hard? I'm doing everything different, but it's still trying to pull me back to how things were or what I knew. I just want to encourage you right now to just continue to keep going forward, because the closer you get to where you are, the harder it's going to get.
Absolutely.
If you ever see the picture of the guy digging for a diamond, right? It's two guys digging for a diamond. One is just digging. He gets so close to the edge, maybe one more strike, and he can grab that diamond. But instead, he turns around and walks away because he's so tired. He's so fatigued and mentally broken. He's like, man, I'm never gonna get there. But the reality is, you are gonna get there. You just got to keep fighting.
Facts. That's powerful.
yeah.
Hey, look,
Go ahead.
I want to take that and run with this real quick, but remember I told you I got a lot of brothers that's locked up, a lot of family members that's in prison, and even them fellas, like, they don't even know they're breaking generational curses as they survive these long nights of knowing nothing but yourself and God at that point.
Oh yeah.
But my brother made it out, and I think because of what he went through in his 14 years of imprisonment, that it ain't too late to change your habits. It ain't too late to make a difference. It ain't too late to be the person you dreamed you could be as a kid, but now you got to really put that work in, and you can't let up. Like that man close to that diamond, like, bro, 14 years didn't go down the drain. You learned a lot. The experiences, you learned a lot. Like now, you got to keep digging. You got to keep going. You got to build it up.
hmm Well, to kind of go off what you said though, to help those who are going through it, because I know I go through it daily, man. This is a daily struggle for me. Um, Sometimes like you feel like you're by yourself. You're not by yourself. So if you really want to be honest, man, like, grab you a few people that you really close with, talk to them, hit them up, let them know. You got to tell everybody your dreams or your vision, but those, if you weed them out, those who you can tell your vision to, tell them. But guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna hold you accountable to it. So if you ain't ready to be held accountable, if you ain't ready to be held accountable, if you ain't ready to be held accountable, don't you say it. But I'm telling you, it's a good thing to be held accountable. So that way you'll have somebody helping you behind you, pushing you forward, instead of just saying no, you can't do it. Because a lot of times your real good friends, your brothers, like bro, like they will step in. They be like, and you never know. Sometimes they give you the advice when you wasn't even looking for it. They'll give it to you right then. They'll give it to you right then. You wasn't even looking for it, and that's what you needed to actually get to the next level. You didn't even know it because you had the right people around you. So like Mac and Coach Jay said, just keep going forward. Everything is cool. You'll be fine. Just bring somebody with you. I tell my soldiers all the time. I tell my soldiers like this: if I teach you something, if I'm leading you, and you want me to mentor you, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna mentor somebody else. Because I'm not gonna just be pulling one person. I'm gonna be pulling multiple people, and you're gonna be pulling people too. We all doing this together. It's not just me. It's not just you. Because as a leader, I pull. I don't push. I pull from the front.
Shit.
I don't push you. I'm not gonna get
I pull
behind
and
you to
push.
push you. I
push the
pull
leaders
from the
above
front.
me in to be better. Look, shit, all of
Oh
them.
yeah, because
everybody got
so I pull you. If I'm a leader, I'm gonna pull you with
I'm
me.
a strong
He
ass
said
chain
everybody.
link. Everybody has. Don't give a fuck. Let's go.
Exactly
My
what he
bad.
said. Exactly what he said. Strong chain link. Exactly what he said. No, that's exactly what he's. I really mean that shit. Exactly like that. So
Oh yeah.
so if you can get you somebody that can hold you accountable, by all means, like
Mhm.
just be honest with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. If you
Facts.
fucking up, you fucking up. It's cool.
Yep.
We all mess up.
Yep.
Ain't nobody
Yep.
bigger than the next man. So what I'm gonna do for you all is this. I'm gonna leave you with a book assignment real quick. I know y'all might hate my book assignments, but guess what? I don't care. It helps you out. It makes you better.
Keep it going.
So I got two for you. For one is a chapter, so it's out the Bible. Read Matthew chapter 6, but not just read it, but dwell on it and pray. This is not a one-time read. This is not a one-time read. I mean, read this for the whole week. Read this chapter every day this week. Every day this week, and then pray about it afterwards every day this week.
Say
If I was you, I'd do it in the morning. So that way you can start your day off right, and you can start shining your light to other people and start being that change and start being intentional in what you do every morning. So I would do it in the morning if I was you. You can do it while you're on your way to work. You could just press play on the Bible app. That's still considered as reading because it read to you.
Facts. I feel like
So-
you're talking to me.
I'm talking to him, y'all. but
You know how you do.
he ain't reading
Yeah,
nothing.
I
If
like
you got
it.
if it comes with paper and it's printed, if it ain't money, he ain't reading it. See all them
Got
red
the
letters?
Bible right here, Matthew 6, chapter 1. What's happening? I got it.
So, chapter 6.
My boy ready.
So now the next book I want you to read, and this will change your life. Both of them will change your life, but this one I think a lot of you all will actually kind of get more of a kick out of too as well, because it's easier to read and digest. Is Becoming a Millionaire Guy's Way by Dr. C. Thomas Anderson. I'm reading this book for the second time, and I have highlights and I'm taking notes in my book. I promise you, like this book, I bought this book a while ago. I'm reading it again for the second time, and this time I was like, damn, I missed all that. Yeah, I missed all of that because I didn't read it to understand. I just read it just to get it done. So it's fine.
No, look, it's a good joke. It's real, and I laugh at it all day. But part of the reason why I don't read in front of people is because, for one, I really do read to comprehend what the fuck I'm trying to read. When
Which is
I really
good.
do, but that means I read slow as fuck because I'll go over the sentence like 3 or 4 times, like dead ass. It's weird. I don't know if
That's
it's
fine.
a disorder or what, but dead ass.
No, it's
Anyway,
not.
go ahead.
I
I'm
do
sorry.
that too.
Continue.
I do the same thing too. If I'm reading to try to
No.
understand, I do the same thing. I read it and read it and read it and read it till I get it down pat, and I can
Mhm.
regurgitate it back to
That's
you.
what I do.
So
My man said that's a disorder.
Nah, hey, look, I was.
we can call that the Mac attack.
That boy
Call that the
crazy.
Mac attack. The Mac attack disorder. That's a Mac disorder. That's the Mac attack.
No, because there's things like dyslexia and stuff where you mix up the words. So I'm just saying. And
I
then,
feel you.
Now this nigga got dyslexia.
Yeah, he
Now this
dyslexic.
nigga got dyslexia.
Now he's dyslexic and shit. Now he's dyslexic and shit.
I'm
He
just
got all
saying,
types of
man, I
disorders.
don't know.
Now you
There's
got speech. Now you got
arachnophobia and
speech
phobias
impediment and
out there
shit.
that
You got all
motherfuckers don't
types of
know.
different disorders and shit. Now all of a sudden you don't want to read. You got disorders and shit now. Making up stuff.
But I
That
can
man
read, though. I
done.
don't care.
That man. That man that diagnosed himself, Dr. Matt.
Self
Hey,
dot
morning,
Web
y'all.
MD. What the fuck y'all talking about?
Yes, sir.
But Coach J gonna give y'all the community call to action, y'all.
So let's jump into this. So real quick, man, whenever you notice that your attitude is beginning to become corrupt or unaligned with your values and morals, take note of it. Reflect on how you will handle it going forward. The next thing, write down your values and see if they align with God's calling for you. Some of you may have the gift of helping and can start by making sandwiches for the homeless or less fortunate, or take a neighbor child to practice with your child for whatever sport.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I want you to subscribe, follow, share this podcast on all platforms. Oh Lord, can't talk. With everyone important to you. It may sound like Mac at the beginning. Tune in to the next episode. Shots fired. Pow,
Back
pow.
to me.
Stop it.
I
Get some help.
had to.
Go
So
ahead.
tune in to the next episode
Oh, man.
when we discuss balancing the driven man and family obligations. Gentlemen, as always, it's not about what we do, it's about how you do it. Dwell in the process. Thank you for listening to the conversation in the Black Gentlemen's Club, where we can have candid conversations about challenges that Black men face and how we overcome them. May God grant you blessings, peace among you. We out!